Hi, my name is Winsley, and welcome to my video covering 5 amazing yet easy to miss changes in the Open Watcher beta for Age of Wonders 4. I did a video a week ago covering my favorite changes, but there is a lot in the Watcher update, and I really feel like these changes deserve a special shout out. The first change that I want to cover in this video is actually one I intended to cover in my favorite changes last week. Some people were showing me that if you look on certain units, you can actually see the amount of experience they have listed as a fraction. It used to just be that percentage bar like you see on heroes here. But now if I take this stack and attack into this like so, um, we'll see that his or this Steel Shaper's XP shows a number 5 out of 6 right there, which is I think a very big improvement over the way it used to be done because it was kind of hard to tell how many experience points you currently are at and how much you needed to get to the next rank based off of the system that they have for heroes here. And when I went looking for this, I couldn't find it in this area for heroes or for units. It can only be found at the bottom of the screen when you hover over the non-hero units. For whatever reason, they haven't added this interface with the experience to the heroes yet. This change should make it a lot easier for you to figure out exactly how many units you want to send into a fight. I made a video, I want to say like 3 months ago, talking about how to get experience efficiently and quickly. And basically, it boils down to these units have a certain amount of experience that each one will give you. And then that gets divided among the amount of your units that participate in the fight or the winner's units that participate in the fight. I think a tier 1 unit is worth 4 experience, a tier 2 unit is worth 6 experience, tier 3 unit is worth 8 experience, and a tier 4 unit is worth 10, and a tier 5 would be worth 12 experience. I believe that's how it works. I did test this pretty extensively, but it was really hard to figure out exactly how much experience I was getting from the fights because I was having to use that bar, and it's really hard to tell the difference between 23 experience and 22 experience out of 32. Um, but yeah, essentially these guys should have, I think, 18 experience altogether in the fight, and that means if I attack with 3 units into them, that 18 experience would get divided into 6 experience per unit. But if I could make it so it was like 6.2, that would round up to 7 experience per unit. There's other modifiers that you can use to make this a bigger number, like adaptable, I believe, is one of them. But if you want to see more information on how to use that strategy, I'll put a card in the top right of the video here so you can go check out the experience video. The next change we're going to discuss is how much better the underground is with the changes they've made in the new beta update. Now that you no longer have marauders that can spawn when you try to clear out the underground, like this guy, he can come down here and try and clear out this. It used to be that could spawn in 6 marauding units, so it should kill a single unit off by its own. But now you're just likely to get either nothing or a node. I found that I was getting like 2 or 3 nodes and I would have 4 or 5 units clearing pretty much every turn. And that's a lot of experience that you can go farm, as well as just economy. Like these nodes I feel like aren't quite as common above ground as what I was able to roll in this playthrough. And I like that a lot. I know Walker, WNE plays on YouTube, and Nurgle's Herald on my Discord server. One of the guys that I play multiplayer with, he made a video uh, explaining why Underground is quite so much better than it is. But I just wanted to point out that I really hadn't noticed how good those nodes would be for experience gain until I just played through it recently, and it's very nice being able to get like what is this, a gold vein and iron deposit, or maybe a third thing every turn or so. The next big change I noticed was the changing to the way they display healing on the on these units. Now you have a little yellow bar showing how much health the unit is going to get at the end of the turn. If we end outside of our territory, we're going to get a lot less health than inside of our territory. And it's just nice to not have to click in here to see how much experience your unit is going to currently regenerate. Right here it's saying total health regeneration is 25, and it's getting that from being inside friendly domain. If we look at this unit, it's saying that we're getting just +5 from being out in the wilderness. There's certain maps that don't give you anything, so it could be that you don't get any healing at the end of the turn. But it's just nice to not have to click around quite as much to get that information. You can just see this really quickly. You click here, you got that information in a tenth of a second versus having to click 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Like it's basically 3 seconds versus a tenth of a second to get the same information. So that's a very big quality of life change, and I super appreciate them adding that to the game. The next change that I noticed while playing on the new version of the open beta was how they changed the hero cap. It was 30 gold for every hero over the hero cap, and they had been thinking about changing it to being minus 15%. But now it's back to being minus 30 gold and something on top of that. Now you have to pay 30 gold and a little bit of Imperium, which is quite restricting. Going from 40 Imperium a turn to 35 Imperium a turn is going to make it a lot harder to found cities. 200 divided by 40 is a nice 5, but 35 I think is like 6, or maybe I don't think it'd be 7 turns until you can found your first city. But I think this is going to make it so people don't go over their hero caps as much as they were. A lot of people would go to their second hero on turn 1 or turn 2 or 3, just so that they can put a lot of experience on those heroes and get those heroes to be as good as possible. I really like this change, and I hope that reduces the overall power of heroes in this game, because they tend to be just a lot better than any other unit that you can get. If you've got less heroes than your opponent, then it feels like you're probably going to lose the fight a lot of the time. The next big change I actually noticed when I was looking at hero skills when I was getting ready for a big skirmish. Like using the dock skirmish mod to quickly set up fights with other players so we don't have to go through the economic sides of things. It's just like a quick way to get a fair fight of 3 stacks against 3 stacks. Everybody's got the same number of tier 1s, tier 3s, and like tier 4s and spells and things like that. It's pretty fun. But yeah, I know they've been changing a lot of stuff with the auras, so I think a lot of people who have been paying attention to Age of Wonder 4 are probably aware of that. One of the more subtle things that they've been playing around with are these other master skills. They did change, I think, um, spur to action to be so it doesn't target hero units with the Dragon Dawn update, and now they're changing, I think, the Weaver skill so that it is going to actually use an action. It's not. I think that it used to be a free action, but now it's going to make it so you end your turn when you weave, and I think that should be good because some people were doing some pretty silly things, like using weave to allow them to get killing momentum, I think twice, and other skills that usually would only trigger once in a turn. But yeah, no, I love these changes. That's everything I have for you in this video. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you around in the next one.